What's up, guys? Welcome to Whose Build Is It Anyway? Where the parts are out of the bin and the builds are made up. So, I don't know what I'm doing. I got this chassis from the 110 Rod Shop. We traded some stuff a while ago. No clue what it is, who made it. It's really nice. But, yeah. Just started piecing it together. I got this chassis to do a build with the Red Cat Gen 8 and a Nico Toyota FJ Cruiser body. And it just didn't jive right. All the Red Cat stuff is pretty much Red Cat specific. It didn't play nice with other chassis. So it's just kind of set in the bin with everything. And yeah, here we go. So I have the TFL Racing Bronco that we did from Banggood. Mixed reviews, had some issues. It does have a broken front axle shaft at this moment, but I do have a new one here to replace it. I do have a whole new front set. It took forever to get here, and that's why that build ended up in the parts bin. So just started building. I thought I was going to build a chassis for the FJ. I was like, I'll use the TFL Bronco axles. Well, I got to the point, got them mounted up, and I didn't have any tires the right size anymore for what I was wanting to do. So I'm like, well, I'll use the mud tires. I have these RC 4-wheel drive. These are 1.9. What do they call them? Mud tires on their wheels. Those wheels are actually pretty nice. I can't remember what they're called either. It's been a while. I got those second hand as well. So here we are. We have a mud truck build again. So I did a mud truck build with TFL Bronco and the tube chassis and all that. And that's why we have a broken front axle shaft. Do the Castle Racing brushless system in it on the RC 4 drive scale trans with this exact same transfer case. And we started snapping shafts. I did make one provision with this to hopefully prevent that, but we'll cover that here in a minute. This is if you remember way back to, what was it, the number 2. Really the first scratch built rat rod I did from chassis up. This body has been around since then. It's been around for 4 or 5 years. I did a comparison between the Shapeways print, which we used on number 2, and a local print that cost $40. And this was the crappy print. So I've had this body floating around forever. I weathered it, did a whole bunch of stuff to it. This was the mod rod body. When we tried to turn that Fijon FJ9 drift car into a modern variant of a rat rod. This was the body we used. I chopped quite a bit off the bottom of it. It has some splits in the print. It's not perfect, but the patina on it came out fantastic. So we're definitely going to use it on something. There we go. Had to run out to the shop to grab the firewall for it. So these are 1.9 Tango Down RC 4-wheel drive wheels on their tractor tires, whatever you call them. I swapped it over to RC 4-wheel drive shocks. I think they look better. The rears, I have extra springs in. They are very hard. Fronts, very good. So we may change the backs to match. It all depends on what motor transmission setup that we run in it. And I have no clue on that right now. There's not a lot of room on this. Let me show you the chassis a little closer. Alright, so see our input shaft here on the transfer case. It's one of the old RC 4-wheel drive ones. No clue if it's even RC 4-wheel drive. It could be a knockoff one. Those are still available on eBay out of China. They are pretty stout, pretty bulletproof. Running the TFL drive shafts to TFL axles, no issues. So I've got the little coupler on there because I was running an R4, but that would put everything way up front. So what I'm thinking, the only thing I have laying around is one of these 6-to-1 gear reduction units, and that would fit pretty well in there. It may interfere with our front arms with the motor. We'll just have to see. The mounts and stuff, there's not anywhere to really mount it, so that could be a problem. We really need to raise it up a little bit, and we could run an actual drive shaft to this so we don't hit our 4-link. I don't want to change it to a 3-link and a panhard. It's just more trouble than it's worth. So we could probably actually put it about there. Put those links in. Those are 59mm RC 4-wheel drive links. We have the bolts of the nuts on each side. Just needed some extra rigidity in the chassis. So did that. It may interfere in the front. We may have to change it. It's all still tentative. You can see the mount for this is very uncooperative. Basically has holes to mount it the wrong direction. So yeah, that's the thing for next video. I don't know. This is pretty cool. I've always wanted to build a mud truck. I had terrible results out of the last one, the last attempt. And yeah, doing a rat rod that's four-wheel drive I have not done yet. So this would be a very first for me. I don't know about the grill. Another recycled part. This whole build is recycled parts. So like I said, the chassis came from Dustin, 110 Mirage Shop. Axles from the TFL Bronco. Shocks just laying around. Those are, I think, all 100 or 110 millimeter Trailfinder 2 rear shocks. Bedsides are from a vintage Tonka truck that I cut up for another rat rod that never happened. And yeah, just rods for the cross members. The front cross member is from an RC 4-wheel drive Yoda truck, which are really old. It's a Delrin servo mount that went on their version of the Bruiser type chassis. And I mounted it through existing holes, and I just drilled some new holes into it. Got the servo and stuff situated. Did some sketchy stuff here on the front with the servo horn. So the servo horn I had on there was hitting the axle during compression. Still technically is. I just chopped it. See, I cut the ends off. This wasn't even a threaded hole. I loosened these. This is one of the clamp-on style. I loosened those, threaded that down into there manually, and then tightened all the clamps, basically. So we're going to have very minimal steering, which technically is good for a mud truck, because I think that's why we broke our axle on the on this the first time, because it was running wide open, turned a little too sharp, tire going faster than the other, got traction, snap, done. So these axles are all aluminum, all Chinesium. They look good. There's kind of an SEX 10-1 based setup, so we'll see how well they last. But that's it for part one of this build. The Awesome Designs Rat Rod tractor grill. It's been cut down and reused, and has some headlights on there from a 1/8 scale Willys Jeep, one of the really high-end model kits that were sent in by a viewer. Thanks, Cammy. Don't know if we're going to use that or not. It kind of works. I'm just got to actually mount it. Right now it's just hiding the servo, and that servo is just a little cheap Amazon unit. But so far I like the look. We're going to make it work one way or another. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. We still got to figure out motor, transmission, body mount for the actual cab, mounting the grill, and really, as far as mud trucks go, that's about it. We can fine tune it. Let me know what you think about the rear suspension. It's going to be too springy. I thought the rear really needed to be pretty firm to grip. The front's got a whole lot of slow motion. So I like it. I don't know how well it'll work, but I like it. Maybe some mesh in the windows. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to try to waterproof all the electronics and everything like that as well. It's going to be an actual mud truck. The axles have been kind of sealed up. It had some extra holes and stuff in it that we put screws in and stuff back before. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with mud trucks, so feel free to drop some knowledge below. I'm happy to read and learn, and keep a scale. See y'all in the next video.